Should do it. And of course, their side has to be turned up too.
Hey, Brian, just do a sound check for us.
Sure, can you hear me?
Yeah, much better. Yeah, now we turned you up at this end, so much better.
Okay. Okay,
Ronnie's on, just waiting on Ernie.
okay.
Did you see my comments about Commons convenience?
Yes, I did.
Did you realize that? Oh, hey, Ernie.
Hi.
Hey, Ernie.
I did not
Hello.
I made a little miscalculation on the tolling periods for Commons convenience.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to change dramatically as far as our enforcement.
Yep.
Got a couple more minutes, huh?
Yeah.
All right, everybody's here, Brian, so whenever you're ready, actually, Ronnie dropped off again. I just want to make sure she's still there.
Okay. Yeah, we got another minute or so anyway.
Yeah. Ronnie,
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
There you
Yes,
are.
Okay.
and we don't need your video because we made some changes to Commons convenience. So you're good just calling in.
Can you see me?
We did it first when you first came on, we did.
Oh. All I can see is Brian. Well, and then it went over to you. Oh, I can hear you.
Yep, we hear you. That's good enough.
Oh. All right, it's 7 o'clock, so let's bring the Mashpee Board of Health meeting to order. Our first order of business tonight is review and approval of the meeting minutes from the January 7th, 2021 meeting. Does anybody have any comments on that set of minutes?
Comments have been made and changed already.
Okay. Ronnie or Ernie, did you have any comments on those set of minutes?
I wasn't present.
No.
I wasn't present. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't have any either. Looks good to me. Okay, would someone like to make a motion for that one?
I'll make a motion that we accept those minutes.
I can't second, so you'll have to do it that.
Okay. I will second that motion. All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Review and approval of expense warrants. Glenn, do we have any more expense warrants that need to be signed?
Yes, we do.
Okie dokie. We'll just try to get down there and I guess get them signed. I don't know. I'm not heading that way in the next few days, but I'll try to get down there early next week if I can.
Okay.
In this new COVID area, I hardly ever go in that direction anymore. So,
Right.
all right. Review of tobacco violations for Commons Convenience 414 Nathan Ellis Highway. I think you had made some note that the situation with this had changed a little bit due to the tolling period, but if you want to give the update for the benefit of the other board members, that would be good.
Okay. Let's see. The purpose of the meeting was to review the tobacco violation of Commons Convenience 414 Nathan Ellis Highway. Bob Collette of the Regional Tobacco Control Commission performed an inspection on December 2nd, 2020, which resulted in Pronto products that were considered blunt wraps per the Board of Health retail sales tobacco regulation. Selling blunt wraps are a violation of that Board of Health retail sales tobacco regulation. And so I wrote a letter dated December 11th that said that there were 2 sets of violations to be reviewed. The first set of violations occurred on April 16th, 2016, where a minor was sold tobacco products, and October 3rd, 2019, where flavored tobacco products and 3 types of Pronto leaves were sold. On November 7th, 2019, the owner appealed the violation, and the Board of Health decided to issue a waiver due to the confusion over the Pronto leaves as blunt wraps, with the condition that no other violations occur within 12 months. Unfortunately, I did not realize that the violations occurred more than 12 months apart. So the violation and fine of October 3rd, 2019 no longer exists. So therefore, the violation of December 2nd, 2020 is a first and standalone violation in its own tolling period. $100 fine is all that should be issued according to the regulation. So the 2 sets of violations that I had talked about in that letter are not really valid, because that 12-month extension that the board gave Commons Convenience had actually elapsed. So there was no look back to the previous violations, and they had basically expired. So the violations now is just a $100 fine that we can issue, because the board doesn't really have to be involved with that.
Okay, that makes sense. That's good. Good for them. All right. So I don't think we have to take any action on this if you're already going to issue the letter.
That's correct.
Okay.
And I've made
All right.
the attorney and the owner, Saeed Chaudhry, aware of this, and so they're awaiting the other letter.
Okay. All right, that sounds good. All right, well then why don't we move on to the next item, review and approval of nitrogen aggregation plan for Cape and Islands Engineering at 21 Menem Road. Do we have anyone on the phone tonight for this particular one?
Yes, hello, Matt Costa, Cape and Islands Engineering.
Hey Matt, how are you?
Good, thanks. How you guys doing?
Good, good. Glenn, if you could give us the details for this one, please.
Nitrogen aggregation plan is being requested for the above property, 21 Menem Road. 21 Menem Road is located in Papaneset, north of Dean's Pond. The open space area in the Seabrook Village subdivision is to be used as credit land for the undersized property to obtain the additional land for more bedrooms. In this case, 16,000 square feet are being utilized to obtain the 24,000 square feet required area for 3 bedrooms with the aid of a denitrification unit. The credit land survey plan, grants of Title V nitrogen loading restriction and easement for the facility and credit land have been provided. The $250 review fee has been paid. The plans and documents have been reviewed. And I just had one comment on the facility land deed. The second paragraph just needs to be revised, and the credit land restriction and easement was correct. The septic design plans have not been submitted with this approval request. And the area of total nitrogen aggregation is set up for an RSF technology. And I was just going to ask Matt what technology he was looking at.
There's a FAST on the site now.
There is.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is an existing, this is not a vacant lot. This is an existing home. It currently is a 1-bedroom home, and it currently utilizes a FAST system. So one thing that Glenn said is that the credit land is actually off of Leatherleaf Lane. This credit land is not coming from the Seabrook Village area.
Yep.
But it's the same credit land, that same area that you guys have seen before in some previous applications.
Yep.
So what we're proposing, what we will be able to do with this is to increase the leach field size to 3 bedrooms. And we're still going to keep the D-Night system in place.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't that D-Night have higher capability of the 660 gallon per day per acre rather than the 550?
Yes, it does. You can go to 660, but you are then required to meet the 19 milligrams per liter threshold. At the 550, the requirement is 25 milligrams per liter. So that just provides some additional buffer to ensure that they're able to meet their standards without any issue. Sometimes these systems can bump into some issues trying to achieve that 19.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, so you've got credit line. All right. Yeah, it all looks good. Does anyone, any of my fellow board members have any questions on this one?
No, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. No, I just thank Matt for correcting that, because I heard the Seabrook Village and I got all confused. So I was like, wait a minute, that's not the correct subdivision, but good. So I have nope, we've done this before for the same area of land. The only question I would have, Glenn, is how much land is left for nitrogen aggregation on the Leatherleaf property?
There's room for about one more.
One more bedroom?
One more plan. Yeah. So,
Okay.
you know, it would be maybe 2 bedrooms, something like that.
Oh, okay.
You probably see this one more time out of that parcel.
Yeah, it's been used more than once, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm okay. How about you, Ernie?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll motion if you'd like.
Sure.
I'll motion to grant the nitrogen aggregation loading plan request for 21 Menem Road with the condition the draft grants of the Title V restriction and easement must be finalized and recorded at the Registry of Deeds with an executed stamped copy provided to the Board of Health prior to issuance of the septic installation permit and approval of the building permit. And of course, as always, the septic plan has to be submitted for review and approval at a later date.
Just one comment, because the septic is existing, it's not going to need a septic installation permit, but it would be just for the approval of the building permit.
What's in there, Glenn?
Well, we would need to modify the leach field. So we would be supplying a plan to increase the size of the leach field.
I thought you had said that. Okay.
Thank you. Yep.
What's in there,
But, yeah,
Glenn, right now?
There was
Matt?
another one we did not long ago where it was already a 3-bedroom in the ground, but it was restricted, and we didn't need to modify that at all.
Ah, okay. What is it though? Is
It's
it
a
leach
1-bedroom.
pad?
No, it's a Title V leach field.
Is it a field?
It's a chambered system.
So it's 2 500s?
No, I don't have it in front of me. I think they were using the C4. I think Infiltrator makes them now.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
It was Caltech. Now I think it's Infiltrator, but it's those. We're able to essentially just add more chambers to it and increase the size of the field.
Oh, okay. So I guess what I said would apply.
Yes, what you said was perfect.
Okay, good. Well, thank you.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second,
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Aye. Very good. Thank you so much, Matt.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Matt.
Good night.
Good
Have a
night.
Good night. Okay, item number 5, review of as-built for Michael the Butte, 425 Great Neck Road North. If you could give us the background information, please.
Sure. So this came up because there was an inspection. Here, let me just read my prepared statement here. Septic system was installed by Mike LaBute in August of 2018 at 425 Great Neck Road North. A septic inspection was performed by Doug Brown on November 16, 2020. The inspection referenced the detail that went into finding the distribution box. The inspector had to follow the line from the tank as the as-built was 9 feet off. There was no riser on the D-box either. The file indicates that the overdig upon the original installation was 2 feet short, and the installer had to do the overdig to make it the correct width. And the installer was charged an extra $25 fee for a second inspection by the agent. So right in the inspection report, Doug Brown details, and I'll read you what he put in the inspection report. At the time of the inspection, this system met all passing requirements. The as-built card on file was totally inaccurate, so we had to find the septic tank and follow the line from the outlet of the tank to the D-box and the D-box to the SAS with a mini excavator. I'm attaching a new as-built. The tank covers were at proper depth per Mashpee regs, but the D-box was not, so we added an 18-inch ADS riser to that. The observation port was to grade. So I just want to make the board aware that these issues occurred on the property with the as-built that Mike LaBute did, and having to bring an excavator in and find a D-box that is 9 feet off from a new construction installation just 2 years ago, I thought was a bit egregious, and so I wanted to make you aware of that.
Okay. Line from the tank has 9 feet off. Yeah, that's a pretty substantial deviation from the actual location.
I
So
I did not notify Mike. I just want to make you aware of it. If you want to review it with Mike present, we can do that. But if you take any action, he obviously has the right to to petition to review it again, but that's up to you.
Okay. 25 to 35. 44, 41. Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah, the A3 measurement is 40 feet, 4 inches, and the A4 measurement is 41.3. That would be, that would be impossible.
Yeah, it's really the B measurements that are from the same corner, so that's really all I looked at, but those are off significantly too, so.
Okay. And the D box was the only measurement that was off?
No, the tank measurements were off 2 feet, the D box measurement was off 9 feet. And I don't know how they found the observation port, but they did find it. After all, I'm not sure how, but
It was off by 4 feet. The
the
observation.
It was off.
the observation port was off by 4 feet.
So it sounds to me, and it's just speculation, that they covered the site and forgot to do the as-built and tried to go back and do it later without verifying any measurements. Okay. Well, sorry, I'm trying to find where's the comments for this one again? Just trying to pull the comments back up on this one. Sorry. So we could issue some fines, or we could require an engineered as-built.
Well, Glenn, could you give us some history on the installer? You know, his,
History on the what, sorry?
the history.
On what?
Installer.
Oh, I didn't go back and do a full history, but Mike has been before the board at least 3 times. One time that I remember was down on Ship's Wheel, I believe it was, where he had installed a leaching trench off the property. He's had a couple other issues where he's been in front of the board. He's kind of famous for not following the plan. And so we've had to deal with him. I deal with him in the field quite a bit. He's getting better at calling and asking questions, but he still seems to go rogue occasionally.
Do you know if his license is current and everything? I mean, is he getting
Yep.
is he getting his CEUs every year?
Yeah, but every year it's a hassle, and he calls up and he hassles Christine about the computer program, which we've now had for 3 years. So yeah, it's not a pleasant person to deal with, especially regarding permitting.
Yeah. I mean, these mistakes to me are just, I mean, they're lazy mistakes. That, I mean, to be 9 feet off on a measurement from the D box, clearly, I mean, it just wasn't, it's tape measure in 5 minutes. So that's clearly, to be that far off, it wasn't measured. It was just a guess to me. And then to not put a riser on the D box, I mean, that's just a basic requirement. It's not even.
Well, Glenn, when you went out to do the inspection, the final inspection, did you indicate on your inspection card that there was a riser present with the D box when you did the inspection?
I did not. I looked at the card, which I have here, and I documented the tank, the inlet tees and the outlet tees, the H20 DB3D box. It was mortared and water tested with speed levelers. And then there was a 3-line field with observation, port, and filter fabric. And the strip out was performed. I just didn't know whether the D-box riser was on there or not.
Yeah,
And I know.
but they might not have done until backfilling.
Right.
And that might not be, not knowing what the final grade would be as the, doing your inspection, you wouldn't know whether it needed to be there or not, so. Yeah. I mean,
Well, on Great Neck Road North, there's silt loam, and I would say that we had to do the strip out, so that brought the system up. Well, you'd be able to tell by the plan, right, Glenn?
Oh, yeah, well, it was new construction, so you had to keep it within 3 feet of grade.
Okay, so some sort of riser would have been required, right?
Yeah, it would have been, yeah, depending on what that final grade was. And you know that it's not always easy to tell where grade's gonna be. So.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's deeper than the tank. There's no pump chambers, and even then you still have to have some sort of, elevation to.
Right, and there were risers on the tank, so.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you put risers on the tank, then it's pretty clear you need a riser on the
Yeah.
D-box. You wouldn't just bury that unless you were
Right.
you just didn't care, or it was somebody who backfilled that shouldn't have been doing the backfilling for you. So I don't know, I mean, what do you guys think? Should we do fines for this? Do we give them a warning of some kind? I mean,
I think he's been brought in before the board before. It's not a drastic fine, but it's a warning,
yeah. I mean, first time, it's what is it, $100 for something like this, Glenn?
Yeah,
Well, I think that something should be done.
Being, on the board, short time. Do we get a lot of this from all of them? Last meeting, we had something else that was incorrect procedures. Now we got another one. Does that keep coming up, Glenn, or? I mean, I've only been on a little bit now, already. I'm hearing my maybe even third one, but to me, it's a little bit disturbing because how's it work? I mean, don't they? I assume you contacted for inspections, or whatever type of professional assistance you would use for inspections, or just yourself. I don't know. I'm getting a little bit confused here on. I mean, is this just certain few, or is it? I mean, last time we met, it was the same thing. Another installer clearly made a mistake.
Yeah.
I'm not following it quite. I mean, I know when I do something, and I do a lot. I mean, I've been in this business for 40, 50 years. I get chewed out pretty bad. On the scene, on the spot. Sorry, but I got a little problem with some of these things that happen. I don't have nothing further to say.
so being a new permit year, are you saying that you're leaning more towards a warning for the first time here, or is that what you're getting at, Mary?
I mean, the warnings, yeah, I'm good with the warnings, but like I said the last time, 3 strikes you're out.
Right.
I mean, we got to limit this. I mean, do it right.
Yeah.
plans, drawings need to be followed. That's why we give them to you.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, and these, I mean, these installers, oh, go ahead, Glenn.
No, it's okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say these installers are required to be licensed, number one, and they have to get a certain number of credit hours to maintain their license every year as a certified installer in the state. So yeah, I mean, it's Title V is like a cookbook, I mean, you guys know it's the engineer, they give you a decent plan, you just follow the plan. That's why, I'm always a stickler on including every detail on a plan that should be there, like a stable compacted base under a tank, because I mean, it's in Title V, but the installers aren't looking at Title V, they're looking at the plan. So, I mean, to me, this is kind of just like, these are lazy mistakes, or they're somebody who's just trying to get away with, the cheap way of doing things, which is, I don't have a riser, I'm not gonna put a riser on it, nobody will ever know. Or it's, cover it up, we'll do the measurements later, and we'll just throw it in the card, nobody will know the difference, So I don't know what the case is. Is it laziness, or is it a deliberate, are these deliberate sort of not mistakes, but deliberate actions? So I mean, that would be my question. And I think,
look what it puts your staff through. I mean,
yeah,
look what they have to continuously follow this. I think they need a little more power. I mean, this is wrong. Don't call me till you fix it. But I mean, I really upset over people who don't follow the rules. Especially when you got, good people going out there to do a job and do your inspections, and what are you doing? We're gonna look at this? Come on, I mean, it's has to be a point where, yeah, you need to put a fine in instantly, never mind. Oh, here's your first chance, oh, here's your second chance, oh, here's your third chance. No. You screwed up, here's your fine. Done.
right.
Glenn should be able to do it right on the spot. Okay. In my view, my personal view. But
Did the engineer sign off on this one, Glenn? Like, did he even go out and look?
Yeah, Pete McEntee signed off on it, yeah.
Well, sometimes they go out before the health agents out there too, so.
I mean, to me, that should have been caught by the engineer too, if everything's in just totally the wrong spot. So, I don't know. I mean, how far is it off of the plan? Not off of the as-built, but how far was this off of the plan? Was it 9 feet off of the plan?
I don't know, I didn't compare it to the plan. I don't have anything to scale anymore because it's all scanned. So,
Well,
did Pete do a
I mean,
layout?
to me,
Hold on.
I think. Oh,
the engineer actually did a layout of the corners of the leaching, not the tank, but just the corners of the leaching.
okay.
And
Well, based on the previous times he'd been brought before the board for issues regarding the septic, I don't think it's a great shame that the board require that the fine be forwarded to, be instituted to the installer because of this, and maybe he'll pay more attention like next time.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, are we talking there? I mean, technically there's two violations. There's the as-built and there's no riser on the D-box. That was, I mean, the riser is specified in the drawings, right?
On the plan, I'm sure.
It's pretty thorough, so.
Yeah, it's shown on the plan.
So, I mean, there's two violations to me.
Did Doug Brown install the riser, Glenn?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
He installed an 18-inch riser.
Yeah, 18 inches. I mean, that's pretty clear that should have had a riser on it before it was backfilled.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can issue the fines, give him two fines of $200. He can argue it if he wants and try to make a case for why he didn't do what he was supposed to do, or he can pay it and learn the lesson. What do you think?
Has he previously been given a warning? Is that what the procedure is? You get a warning first? Has he previously been given a warning? Or
Well, he's been before the board on other occasions.
and did he correct those times?
Yes.
Obviously, okay, well, I hate to say it, but in my view, I guess it's a warning as long as it corrects it. Or is it something that's in place that needs more than I understand? I'm not sure.
I don't think he can correct it at this point. I mean, he could fix the as-built card, but
Yeah, all of it in this case has been corrected. The new as-bilt's been submitted by the inspector and the riser was added by the inspector. So he basically left it up to somebody else to fix and correct his violations. So.
yeah.
I don't know. To me, it sounds like the final warning. I don't know, whatever you guys think.
No, we need to move on. I'm just going to motion to issue a fine of $100 to Michael LaBute for failure to submit a correct as-built and install a riser
Okay.
on the distribution box.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Thank
Thank you, Ronnie. Okay. What do we have next? Number 6, review of the October 2020 landfill monitoring reports for groundwater and gas. Was there anything in particular to call out on these reports, Glenn? Is everything?
Yeah, I just had 2 things on the reports. The gas monitoring was fine, but the groundwater monitoring, the 2 issues were that the W11 is a groundwater monitoring well, and that is the well that needs to be repaired. And I talked with Ronnie today about the last meeting, and during that conversation, she offered to call Dennis Scannell to see if he could issue a bid, and I'll call Ty and Bond to have them secure a couple other bids on repairing that. And well W11 is the well that's down adjacent to the DPW building. So it's not on the landfill proper, it's down gradient, south of the DPW office building. So I have not been out to check the exact location of that, but I will before I talk to the well drillers. And the other item is I heard from Michael Martin from Ty and Bond, who's been our contact, who has been doing the landfill reports. And he said that there was a third-party request for information made for the Mashpee landfill reports for the last year and to DEP. And he said when those kind of third-party requests are made, from what's been happening in the central region of DEP, is that has been leading to a request to have the PFAS tested.
To have the what?
PFAS.
Oh, okay.
The perfluoroalkyl substances. And so, and those are very expensive to have laboratory analyzed. So we did talk about this a little bit during budgeting, and because the requirement was not in place, we did not budget for it. But he's saying because of this request, it is something that may be coming down the pike here. So he was just kind of giving us fair warning that the PFAS requirement may be coming.
Okay, well, that makes sense. We all knew this was going to end up.
So those are the only two updates I had for those reports. I just kind of wanted to make you aware of that.
Glenn, did you hear from Dennis today?
I did not know.
Okay, because I did talk with him,
Oh,
and he was going to give you a call
excellent.
to have the to check into what needs to be corrected on the soil gas monitoring well.
Yeah, it's not a soil gas, it's a groundwater well, and I'll pull out the, I thought it was soil gas at first, but I double checked in the report, and I'll pull out the construction requirements for the wells.
Okay, he doesn't do the gas monitoring. Rather putting in a new one, because I guess he said he doesn't have the hollow bit
Okay. Okay,
for
well,
it.
I'm
Yeah,
sure-
so, but he said if it's just the pipe, he might be able to, so he's going to give you a call.
Okay, well, I'm sure you can do the groundwater one.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Glenn, to satisfy my own curiosity, could you send me a map of the well locations? I don't think I have a map.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay. I don't think we need to take any action on this
No.
tonight. Okay. Where are we at? Item number 7, the discussion of the COVID vaccination plan. I'm glad we even get to discuss that. We're not even a year into the pandemic.
Okay. So I sent you an email back January 14th. So a week ago, Barnstable County is in the process of setting up a regional COVID-19 vaccination site at Barnstable County Fairgrounds. The Barnstable County has opened up the clinic, the regional clinic, to Upper Cape towns. And this is something that we're looking to participate in and support. And right now, I think that realistically, the site will probably be up in a couple of weeks, but the state has told us that phase 2 is really not going to start until the middle of February. And so I think that with the remaining couple of groups that are in the end of phase one, that they'll be done over the next 2 or 3 weeks. And then the state will open it up to phase two, which will be 75 and over seniors. And by that point, I think it's going to be likely that they're going to add all 65 and over seniors at that point. So we provided those numbers based upon the town's demographics through the town planner and the town clerk, and sent those numbers over to Barnstable County. So they have those for ordering purposes, so they can order the vaccine. And I guess it takes about 2 weeks for that order to be processed. So we're probably looking at 2 to 3 weeks, I think, on getting that regional site up and moving. Just right, something else is that both CVS and Walgreens are going to be receiving vaccine. They said on the news that there are 15 sites in the state that are going to be receiving 10,000 doses. I think that's 10,000 in total, so I don't think it's going to be a whole lot of vaccine. But Mashpee Walgreens is one of those area sites that is going to be receiving vaccine. And I think that is really for the last 2 groups of phase one to be done.
That's good.
We also did the prep mod training, which was offered by the state, which is the registration process. And I got a hold of Council on Aging, and they had 3 people also take the prep mod training so that they can help register seniors that are going to be calling up for this next phase. And we're looking at putting out a notice on social media to let people know how to sign up for the reverse 911, because we are going to use that for letting people know which phase is going to be done next and telling them to go ahead and register. So we discussed before that a lot of the cell phones, there are people that have cell phones don't have landlines, and they may not be signed up to get the reverse 911. Well, all they need to do is call our office, and we'll give their name and telephone number and their address to IT, and IT will add them to the list to subscribe for the 911 reverse 911 calls. So I think that will be a great help on getting a lot of people who don't have landlines.
Yeah, that's good. Would it be worthwhile to try to get some sort of flyers or something out to like the grocery stores and things like that? You know, just telling people where they can sign up for the reverse 911 if they don't have the landline?
Well, we can certainly do posters and post at the supermarkets like we do for the flu clinic. So yeah, we can do that too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that would save you a lot of a lot of phone calls. I'm sure you know, everybody's getting a lot of calls. I personally get, you know, even though I have nothing to do with vaccinations, just because I work for the county, I get 2 to 3 phone calls a day and at least 3 to 5 emails a day from people looking for vaccine. And my name isn't even associated with any of that stuff. So I mean, there are a lot of people who are looking for the information. So it might head off some, you know, a few calls if people know that once they're on the reverse 911 list, that, you know, they'll be notified when they can get their shots. So just, yeah, might save you some time.
Absolutely. We've had a lot of calls too, pretty consistently through the day. And so we know this is going to be an issue. as far as the notification and the registration. So we are
Yeah.
definitely working on that. At the county level, Barnstable County has 5 lines on a hotline to both give information and also register people for the clinics. But I didn't want to just leave it on the county, so we'll do it in the office and we'll have council on aging. And I think Falmouth even got their library staff to help out too, as the library staff is probably on
Great.
short of things to do right now. So that's where they're at. So it is going to be kind of an all hands on deck type of response once this thing gets going.
Well, when is
Right.
the actual time that they call in, be registered? When does that start?
We won't know that until the state tells us we're going to have actual vaccine. The state has told us don't make any decisions on any flu clinic dates until they tell us that we're going to have vaccine.
Okay, but I want to go back to the registration. When is the time when senior citizens with good reason to need a shot can call and register themselves? We have no time for that. Am I correct?
We're hoping that we at least have a week's lag time from the state calling us to telling us that we have vaccine and we can issue a date for a clinic that will give people a week or so to sign up. But that is my best guess.
Awful nice to hear how far behind we are. Where I have friends who've come down to Florida, and in 3 days, they made their call and they got their shot.
Yeah,
Congratulations, Massachusetts, congratulations.
yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah, it's been, unfortunately, this national response has, I think, led to states sort of having to compete for these resources. It's awful, really awful how this is all planned out, or been, you know, this total lack of planning at the national level has really left, through this entire thing, left us all in a lurch, and it's left states competing for gloves and masks, and now it's vaccine. It's crazy. But it is good that we are, you know, we're getting there. The vaccine will, you know, it'll roll out once the wheels get going and things, you know, start to click into place. It's just really, it seems like, you know, waiting on vaccine is the biggest thing at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the clinics are pretty well ready to go. I mean, there's people and the labor force is there, but nothing's going to happen without vaccine. So,
Right.
did we lose Ronnie?
I think we did. Ronnie, are you there?
Yeah, I see Ronnie fell off. Oh,
Yeah, she just called back in.
I'm back in, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So,
I know that the Barnstable County they have hired 30 nurses and they have a stable of 100 volunteers behind that. So I think that as far as the labor force, I think we're good to go. And we have not talked with the VNA yet, but the VNA, I think their role is going to be doing possibly mobile units that could go around to some of the smaller areas, like doing condominiums at one point. during the process. So the town, as far as the VNA can receive doses of vaccine doses for the town and distribute them. And Barnstable County is going to be obtaining vaccine for Mashpee for our use. So we have a couple of depots that are going to act on the town's behalf.
Okay. Do you guys have any other questions on this? I mean, kind of like hurry up and wait. The town health departments have been drilling this exact thing for 15 years now. Since I've been, involved with the county. It's been almost 15 years of exactly getting ready for this. And it's unfortunate that we're kind of stuck, kind of waiting now for the product that we need for it. I mean,
On Monday there will be there's another conference call set up, but we're also looking to do an on-site with the other health agents from Falmouth and Bourne, and probably with the Barnstable County Fairgrounds director there, so we can go and do a quick layout. Scott McGann from Falmouth has come up with a site plan, and so we're going to go and kind of check things out on that end next week.
okay. Yeah, well, it's a good site to use, so.
Anything else?
Okay. I'm just looking through the list of phases. By the way, Ernie, if you wanted to see the list of who gets shots when, if you just Google Massachusetts COVID vaccine phases, there's a page that the state has up that lists out the phases and who's in each phase and when they're roughly supposed to start. So yeah, it looks like, I mean, they have February to March 2021 for phase 2. And then phase 3 starting April 2021. Yeah. Okay, well, let's move along, I guess. Why don't we just stick with COVID right now then for the old business and take up item number 2 for the COVID-19 update.
I have a question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Ryan.
Did you already go over number 1, 544 Katoot Road?
No, not yet. Not yet. I figured we'd just stick with COVID and just, we'll come back to number 1 and do the COVID-19 update first.
Oh, I couldn't, please excuse me. I thought when you kind of skipped over old business, we started the meeting and I got a little confused as to what happened. I missed it.
Nope.
Okay, I'm fine.
You want me to
So, yeah, that sounds good. I mean, I guess if you want to just kind of go through like the really new stuff, I don't know if you want to read the whole list or up to you.
I don't really want to read the whole list, but
I kind of figured.
I'll start at the bottom because that really is the stuff that changes. A fine was given to Wildfire Pizza for violation of COVID-19 Order 55 for failure to comply with the face covering requirement. We've been there several times and issued the verbal and the written warnings, and then now on to fines. And the owner, I think, is going to go through the process to appeal it. So we'll probably end up with district court in that. They do have a couple of people in the facility that have medical exemptions. And I know that there's been quite a bit of frustration on the owner's part because people keep calling in because they see the employees without masks on, but there are some employees that can wear a mask, and that's really what the violations have been based on. So we'll deal with that when it comes to, if it does come to district court.
Okay.
But We investigated COVID-19 complaints at Wicked, Wildfire Pizza, Estia, and Asia. We coordinated with the town clerk, determined number of Mashpee residents over 65 and 75, which we did with the town clerk and with the town planner. Participated in Prepmont training, I said that. Referred nursing volunteers to COVID-19 vaccination clinics to Barnstable County. Notified Mashpee food establishments of the canceling of the mandatory early closure of business effective January 25th. And that came in today, correct?
2 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah, that came in today at 2 o'clock. So they have changed the closure of business times. Notified Mashpee food establishments of the extension of the temporary capacity restrictions through January 24th, and then subsequently through February 8th. So, advise the nurse, district nurse coordinator regarding close contacts that were previously positive for COVID-19. Discuss COVID vaccination planning with the director of council on aging, and plan for COA staff to assist with registering senior population. So I'll stop there because we've done a lot of these things, and I've told you as part of other issues with the COVID.
Okay. Bernie and Ronnie, do you have any specific questions on any of the items, or generally speaking, COVID?
I don't.
No.
Okay. Well, you guys are doing a good job as always. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hopefully we can get this vaccine out there and some of this stuff starts to wind down. It'll be a while still, but what can we do? All right, then let's go to the review of compliance for 545 Tuet Road as our last agenda item for the evening.
Okay, at the last meeting, a continuance was granted to this meeting for the owner to have her attorney in attendance. They were not able to attend, or not available for the last meeting. Activities that have occurred since the last meeting included an on-site meeting with the engineer, Peter McEntee, Charles Thompson of Indian Health Services, and Joey DeBarros, the septic installer, to discuss the septic system that will be redesigned and installed. The septic system will consist of a 1,500-gallon H10 monolithic septic tank that will replace a 1,500-gallon tank that is 6 feet deep in the ground, an H20 distribution box, and a 5-bedroom SAS. The new septic tank will be higher in elevation as an ejector pump will be installed in the basement to service a basement bathroom. An F1T filter will be installed in the outlet of the septic tank to mitigate the effects from the ejector pump. Raising the system with the assistance of the ejector pump will allow the rest of the system to be kept within 3 feet of grade, as this is new construction from an increase in flow from 4 bedrooms to 5 bedrooms. The owner has requested another continuance to allow her attorney to get up to speed. It was actually the attorney who requested it through her. So that is where we're at right now. And I did give you recommendations for this.
Okay. Glad to hear they're moving forward on it. Have they made any progress on the issue with the egress windows and everything?
I believe the owner has found a contractor. I think she is just trying to get funding together for it. Indian Health Services is covering the payment for the septic system, but they are not going to pay for the renovations to the home to bring the basement bedrooms into compliance. But I think she is talking to the tribe about actual covering the renovation part.
Okay. Well, good. It sounds like good progress. You guys, Ernie, Ronnie, you have any questions on this one?
No. Good.
Okay.
Hold on, let's see. Those answers, my answers were pretty much, my questions rather, were pretty much answered, so. Would they want to continue to the next meeting, Glenn?
Yeah, let's do that to the next meeting.
No, my question is, she's asking. The
Yeah, I
owner
think
is asking.
she's requesting the continuance, yeah.
Okay. Have you given her the information on the USDA?
Yes. Yeah,
Does she meet, do you,
I don't know that she would be eligible for that because the income requirements on that are pretty low. And as a nurse, I think she makes too much money to do that. So I think she has to look into other avenues on that one.
okay.
Okay. Does somebody want to make a motion on the continuance?
I'll make that motion and we continue.
To the next regularly scheduled board meeting?
Yes.
Okay. I'll second
Okay.
that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. I think that covers our agenda for this evening, unless you have anything else to cover this evening, Glenn.
I have nothing else.
Okay.
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I do. I have two things.
Okay. Sure.
Well, it's actually under old business would be on 100 Great Neck Road North. Have the weekly monitoring reports been submitted by the owner of the overflowing conditions or the conditions out there?
They have, yeah, and they've kept up with pumping.
Okay, and how's that going?
Good. We have not had any other reports of overflows.
It seems like
And
every,
what?
it's like twice a week
What?
right now.
Yeah, they're getting pumped twice a week.
Okay, well, that's good. And I kind of wanted to go over 97 Sunset Strip. I had a question, Glenn, about that, and can you give us an up-to-date on 97 Sunset Strip, Glenn, please?
I've heard from the owner a couple of times. She is working on getting a contractor in there. A contractor actually came and tried to bring and put a dumpster back in on the property where the material is. And they couldn't get the dumpster in there because the driveway is so overgrown. So I know that she is working on it, but I'll check in with her this week.
Didn't we give them time frames to get
Yeah.
this done?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to see any more of this on that road. And we did give them time frames and nothing's been done. I mean, attempts, but that debris and brush can be cut away pretty easily. And I don't find that adequate in the attempts that she's made to correct the situation. This is, a serious situation, and it's January, and I really don't want to see this going into the spring, because by that time the rat population will explode. And we need to do something about this and get her moving on it. And do you happen to recall what exactly that motion was, I think, wasn't it so many days? And if she failed to do so, then fines would be instituted for that?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up. Oh, come on, Google. We had this. Draft minutes for the 3rd. Two, 97.
I can look it up and get back to you, Ronnie, on that.
Yeah, here, I've got the minutes here. So there being no further comments or discussion, Veronica Warden moved to deny the request for the Board of Health to amend or withdraw the violations at 97 Sunset Strip. Motion seconded, unanimous. Veronica Warden also moved to require the owner of 97 Sunset Strip to remove the appliances, yard debris, and piles of garbage between the house and the driveway within 7 days of receipt of the certified letter and or posting at the property. And this was the minutes from our December 3rd meeting.
Oh, thanks, Brian. Thanks for pulling that up. From December 3rd?
Yep. Yeah, that was the last discussion we had on this one.
We have to do something here. We can't let this keep going on. I'm just not going to let this happen. And I'm not going to let this happen. Well, to the best of my abilities, anyways. We need to give her time, and that's it. And then after that, she'll be fined $25 a day.
Well,
My opinion only.
That's what we put on it. So I left that part off. I apologize. Failure to comply within the specified time frame shall result in a fine of $25 per day.
Okay, so I want that done. I would like we already motioned that, so I would like the fines have accrued, and she's not going to do it, then they're going to keep accruing. And maybe Glenn, you could send her a letter stating that she has failed to comply. Therefore, $25 a day from receipt of the certified letter. You sent the certified letter, right?
I'd have to look. I don't know. Try to remember.
Well, that doesn't work. So
We'll catch up with her, I'm sure.
if you did, if that wasn't done, then would you please forward one from the board with a certified letter, and then have to move back a little bit rather than forward. But and if you did, then I would like the other letter sent stating that so much more time has gone by, so many days have gone by, and given a current total of the amount that that's due the town, because I this can't happen. It just can't happen.
Okay, we know.
Well, is the board in agreement with this?
I think if we're going to discuss it, we should probably add it to the agenda.
Well, we already did, though. It's already been voted on. That, you know what I mean? I was just questioning what's transpired.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I kind of figured, for me, if you're just asking Glenn questions, then we don't necessarily need to add it to the agenda. But if we have a discussion sort of as a board, we should probably formally just add it to the agenda so that we can discuss it. That's all.
Well, okay, but you gotta remember, another week will have gone by and the numbers are gonna get higher, so.
Oh,
it's
no,
not gonna
no,
help
I'm saying
them.
we can add it to this agenda. We just need to vote on it. That's all.
Oh, well, okay.
That's all. I'm perfectly willing to discuss it, but we should add it to this agenda. So if you would
Oh,
like to
okay.
make a motion to add it to this agenda.
I'd like the motion to add 97 Sunset Strip to the agenda.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now I have a question.
Okay.
Has this person been notified that there is a $25 a day fine in place? And from the date it has been in place, was in place, and this person has been notified by mail, registered mail? Or is this person not been notified
I
to
don't,
this date?
I don't know, Ernie, we'd have to check, but, I know that she's called a couple of times and saying that she is working on it. And I know that the board has always not taken action if they're working on it and if they show any progress. Now, I haven't seen anything in writing from her, except that I've had 2 phone calls. So, even if the letter were issued, I just don't remember if it has been or not. There has at least been attempts, and the owner has been staying in touch with me, which we told her to do, that if anything had changed, that she contact us, and she has done that. So,
Then has anything been removed from the property?
I have not been back to check. She has not said that things have been removed, so we've not gone back out to check. She's only told me that she's been contacting contractors to go out and do it, and she had trouble finding them to go out and do the cleanups.
But it's been over a month, Glenn. I'm sorry, but no, that's not, there's plenty of time, and I'm sorry, but that doesn't quite. I mean, how long are we going to let this go? And we can't let this go. She
No.
needs to get this property cleaned up in one way or another. And if she's not going to do it, then we're going to have to, let the fines accrue.
But when the fines are issued, they typically are allowed to accrue for 30 days, and then the board will take a vote to send it to council. That's typically how that happens.
Well,
We've actually gone much.
if I remember, I remember the past, we let them know that so much time has gone by and so much money has accrued, and failure to pay in a timely manner within so many days will result in court action.
Right.
And
that's the letter that gets sent after 30 days of accrual.
right. Well, this, well, right now, you don't know. I mean, we did ask you to send that certified, so as usual, as always. So, I don't know what to say, because if we continue, it's another 7 days. So, maybe we could go out to the property and check whether anything's been done. And if nothing's been done, then we'll just, another 7 days will, not 7, 14 days will accrue. And, the amount's going to increase. it's already 2 weeks to get the certified mail and the receipt and all that. That's a month, you know.
Yeah. Is there any possibility that you could serve the letter directly rather than doing it as a certified letter?
I don't think she lives in town. She doesn't live at the property. She comes down
Okay.
on weekends to, I think, to organize and coordinate stuff.
Well, you would have saved the letter. Do you have your computer with you that you could look it up?
I can,
Well, the board at the last meeting gave 73 Lovell's Lane 90 days to clean the property up. So if you're talking about being consistent, you need to look at the other properties that this has happened on. So
Why don't we, do we put a time frame on that, Glenn? And secondly, he did attempt, he has moved some vehicles from the property. We need to know if anything's been done with this property. And it's just that particular area that's would place more concern with the Board of Health at the moment than, you know, to make sure that that the situations with rodent overpopulation don't occur.
okay. I mean, I think at this point, unfortunately, without knowing whether the letter was sent and received, we haven't fulfilled the requirement of proper notification. So I don't think at this point fines can accrue until something is received by the owner, unfortunately, if that's, you know, if they haven't received it. So, I mean, we can't, I am fully with you on the imperative to get something done. But as you know, we're always sort of hamstrung by some of these requirements to, you know, notify and give certain amount of time. And I think that's kind of the issue that we have at the moment. I'm trying to pull up the database to see what I apologize. It's just taking a moment here. Trying to pull up the map, but the map is just like sitting there and not doing anything. Property search.
Well, she did call. She got some sort of letter. Was it hand delivered? Did you or Kate hand deliver it, Glenn?
Ronnie, I don't have the folder with me. You didn't let us know we were going to discuss this. I don't have any of that information with me.
Yeah.
I'm sure that the original letter was sent, I'm sure, but I think there was a follow-up that had to be sent, and I don't know if that got sent or not, because she received an initial letter from probably that was based upon the complaint. But I don't know if she actually got the board's letter after not complying with the time frame on the complaint.
I'm gonna
Right.
feel a lot more comfortable when I have in front of me something that I can read and understand and know the past and the present and the future. And so as far as anything else I would vote on here tonight is let's put the
With what?
package together again, if that has to be that way. I don't care, but I want to read, I want to see it, I want to see all that stuff, I want to see everything. I don't have that. Up to date, up to now. We just started another discussion. Up to date, show me everything. Then I can make a decision if I want to.
Well, we already kind of voted on that. You were present, Ernie,
yeah,
and
right,
on that. I'm just very concerned.
Yes, I understand that, but it seems as though we don't have the information exactly right now in front of us. Am I correct or am I wrong?
I just
Yeah.
hate to
Had
see
the
that
exact
the owner.
information, then we could say, I guess we could decide. But you got to give Glenn a few
Well,
time to put
I'm
it back.
just worried that. Yeah, but I'm worried that if we got to receive a letter, then another month is gonna go by and the fines will accrue. Because we already voted on all that, and that would have been in the letter. That's what I'm worried about. See, there's another 30 days times $25 a day, you know, and that's,
I understand
I'm,
what you're saying, Ron, I
you
really
know.
do. And I want to support it, but where are we going right now? I mean, how do we make a decision if
Okay.
we're not sure?
Right.
I just
That's
wanna be
fine.
sure, that's all.
Yeah, it's tough to have this discussion without having it, having it on the agenda. Glenn wasn't able to be prepared for it, unfortunately. So, I mean, I think there's very little action we can take on this tonight, unfortunately. I mean, that's kind of the situation we have. So
That's
I think,
fine.
yeah, I think
I'll wait.
it's up-
That's fine.
I'm all for
Yeah.
taking the action, I just want,
Yeah, no,
Well, there isn't really any to take. I was just,
yeah,
trying to figure out what's going on over there, and they're already accruing, Ernie. It doesn't matter, you know. We're not going to be making a decision. I'm just
well, I
feel
think
bad
the
because
thing that
it's,
bothers me the most is, and maybe I missed it the last time around, but this person doesn't even live there?
yeah, they live in Cambridge is the mailing address.
Is the house not occupied?
No, it's not.
Oh, is that okay for me to ask that? I mean,
Yeah. It's not occupied, at least during the week. It's only occupied on the weekends.
well, I guess it's time to do what we gotta do.
okay. You want to wait till next meeting? That's fine.
Yeah, I don't know what else we can do. I mean, I'm sure Glenn sent the letter and, at the next meeting, we can affirm whatever fines and then it goes to council. And I mean, as you know, we have to follow the procedure that goes with this, which is.
Yeah,
take
I was
some
just
time.
trying to save the homeowner some money, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, she's had adequate time to clean this up. If she hasn't made any progress, then it's on her at this point. I mean, if it goes to court, that's her. That's on her.
And she actually knows she's getting the $25 a day. So.
Yeah,
that's-
I know. There's nothing we can do. I just,
Yeah.
hate if it can be prevented, I'd rather see it prevented.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. I mean, even if we were decide right now that we wanted to have the town clean it up and put a lien on the property like we've done in the past, I mean, there's still a whole procedure that we have to go through for that, which would involve legal
Oh, and that's
counsel.
worse. I'm with you on that. Yeah.
So there's almost, I mean, yeah, unfortunately, I think we can do nothing but let it kind of play out until the next meeting and get it on the agenda for next time. And
Yeah, and do you think you could take some pictures, either Kate or you, Glenn?
Yeah.
Maybe you can provide us with pictures to see how bad it is.
Yep, that would be good. Good to have some sort of documentation. And then, yeah, I mean, maybe next meeting we can send it to council for further action if nothing has been done.
Well, it still involves a letter letting the owner know that that's what's accrued, and if she can somehow make amends for that and stuff, it's just, and then when all that fails is when that would happen,
So this was, I mean, we voted on this on the 3rd. If the letter went out, say a week later, I mean, it would have been received sometime around the end of December, and we're getting close to the end of January at this point. So, I mean, I think if Glenn could take the action between now and our next meeting to send a letter that says, hey, it's been 30 days, you haven't done anything, the board's going to discuss this at their meeting on the 4th, pending no action, we have no choice but to send it to legal counsel. I mean, I don't think we need to wait at this point. I think that letter could be sent.
Well, it doesn't even go to that. It is what it is, and then they can, once we tell them what the total amount is, then they can go from there. And, however, that's normally what happens. And that's fine.
Right.
That's fine with me.
I don't think we have to wait till the next meeting to send the letter that says you've accrued X number of fees over 30 days. I think that letter could go out before the next meeting, and then, so we don't lose time.
I can agree
Just a
with
thought.
that.
If you're concerned about losing the time, I don't think that sending that letter would require a vote from us anyway.
Right.
Clock's still ticking.
So,
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
that's fine with me. You can't,
All right.
I was just questioning it to begin with because it's already, the action's already been taken. I thought,
Right.
it is what it is. So, okay.
yeah. Okay.
Could you place it
All
on the
right,
agenda
yeah.
for the next meeting though, Glenn?
Yeah,
Please.
Okay. Does anybody have anything further?
Nope.
No.
I'm
Okay.
good.
I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Okay. All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Take care. I'll try to swing by for the expense warrants, Glenn.
okay, thank you.
If you
Bye.
need me, I gotta come by there anyway.
Okay,
If you should need me, let me know.
okay.
You're already over here.